This week's vlog is for those of you who are feeling a sense of hopelessness. Life is beating you up right now, and you're feeling like a victim. You're stuck in mental prison. Guess what? I'm here to break you out. What we're about to go over is meant to empower you. My intent is to give you some tools that have worked for me. I want you to know this. The way you feel is your indication system letting you know it's time to change your current state. First, what is mental prison? How do you know you're there? Mental prison is a feeling. It's a feeling of being stuck. It's a feeling that can create more feelings such as a lack of purpose. It can make you feel stressed, depressed, and has its effects on our social life and how we treat people, and most importantly, how we treat ourselves. What does it derive from? Well, the good news is it's your own creation. And the reason this is good news is because you're now aware of how you created your current state. This now allows you to create something new for yourself, but it starts with acknowledging how you got here. So once again, what does this derive from? Your thoughts. You see, oftentimes if you're stuck in mental prison, it often stems from a circumstance in your life. But I want you to understand that more importantly, it's your thoughts in reaction to your circumstance that creates the mental prison. So while we may not be able to control the current circumstance that has you feeling the way you do, understand that by controlling our thoughts about our current circumstance is the key to releasing us from our own mental prison. So you may be asking, when I'm stuck in mental prison, how do I change my thoughts? Well, I can tell you this. If you think about how stuck you are, it's only going to keep you stuck. So how do I deal with this? While this can be a challenge, it works. You must change your actions to now assist in the changing of your thoughts. Let me give you an example of what I mean on how to do this. I used to work for a major insurance corporation. It wasn't what I wanted to be doing for a living, but because both my parents worked in the insurance industry, it made sense at the time for me to follow in their footsteps. Now, my choice to work in the insurance industry was not made because I was fulfilling my purpose. I did it because subconsciously, that's the example I saw on how to make a living. 5 years into the job, I was overweight, unhappy, and feeling stuck in life. I knew there was more fulfillment out there, but being stuck in mental prison, I saw no way of finding that fulfillment. So, what was the first step? First, I started with acknowledging that I was not happy, and ultimately that I deserved to be happy. This led to the second step, which was a decision to do something about it. What? I didn't know, but I knew I had to take action. It starts by doing the little things right and understanding that the things I can control, I will control. Being overweight, I can control that, so I did. As for the job, I left in order to find my purpose. Understand that making the decision to leave a secure job was terrifying, but it had to be done. I also want you to know I'm not suggesting that you leave your job either. But I'm telling you, no matter where you feel stuck, control the small details in your life, and this will empower you to change your thoughts and ultimately your circumstance. A lot of times we get stuck here because of our thoughts towards a certain circumstance or maybe our entire circumstance. Simple example, when something bad happens to you, what usually follows in reaction? Negative thoughts, right? Those thoughts turn into creations of more negative things to come. Like when you're having a bad day, one thing goes bad and turns into another thing going bad, then our day compounds filled with nothing going right. So the point I'm making here is this. Your thoughts in combination with your observation of the negative circumstance is creating a day full of circumstances you don't want. This should excite you because this means you have more control of your life than you gave yourself credit for. Because much like a bad day, we can also create a good day. But that depends on your thoughts and how you observe your circumstances. You see, if we look at our bad day as a way to find clarity, the observation of that thought is enough to change our circumstances. Simply put, if you think it's negative, then it's negative. If you can find the positive out of a negative, the circumstances will be positive. So often we see people deal with stress, depression, and anxiety in destructive ways. I dealt with my problems through alcohol, which led to weight gain, a rocky relationship, and further irritation at work. So how do we break free from the stress, depression, and anxiety? let me ask you this. Where do you live majority of the time? Because if you're dealing with depression, I'm going to say that you live majority of your life thinking about what happened to you in the past. If you're always anxious, you're worried too much about what's going to happen to you in the future. Whether you're worried about money, bills, or the state of the economy, either way, you're worried about something that hasn't happened yet. So we combat these issues with mindfulness. Sounds simple, right? Maybe not as simple as you would think. Because of our distracting world, the art of being fully present is lost. I've noticed when I'm fully present, my interactions with people are much more enjoyable. Plus, that's not the time to be worried about the bills. You also owe it to yourself to find a way to decompress, not only mentally, but physically as well. Meditation, prayer, both are great ways of mentally decompressing. Hobbies also help. Exercise and getting into nature are also great ways to physically decompress. Look, I know a lot of this seems like common sense, but when I look around, majority of society is overweight with a total ignorance of nutritional knowledge. Pills are the common way of dealing with depression and anxiety, and everybody knows someone or is close to someone who has cancer. Yet, we accept that it's genetics and not our diet and the way we live. So, I think it's a fine time for all of us to look ourselves in the mirror and get back to the simple and basic. Accepting things the way they are is the collective mental prison we are all individually responsible for. Today's common sense no longer makes sense for the common. The common just has to wake up to this fact.